It's December now, 2023. It's been 3 or 4 months since I've done a video about our summer trip to Colorado. This trip we went on was to California, Nevada, and Idaho back in October to see the fall foliage and check out some national parks and other sites that we haven't seen before. 2 weeks was the length of our trip. We flew into Salt Lake City and stayed in Mammoth Lakes, Winnemucca, Nevada, Ely, Nevada, and we were in Tonopah. I forget what other cities. Twin Falls, Idaho, and we rented a Jeep Wrangler. The first time I've driven a Wrangler, and it was a brand new one. It was manufactured in September of this year, and I was the first driver of it. It had 8 miles on it. It was a Sport S 4-door, 2-liter turbo engine. Took me a few days to get used to it, but it's a really good car. I liked it a lot. It's one of my favorite SUVs, and I've driven a number. I have a CRV that I use right now, and we've done a lot of road trips. I have already 58,000 miles on my 2021 car because we've driven to Texas and Maine, South Carolina, North Dakota, all over, and it's a good car for a road trip, and we do use it for not real off-roading, but if there's a lot of dirt roads and other areas that we've used that car for. And that's why we got the Wrangler, because we were going to go on a number of roads that were not too good. And in the past I've had a Jeep Compass that was very good for road trips and dirt roads. And then I've rented a lot of recently, and an Equinox was actually quite good. Just this summer, I think it was an Equinox. And we've rented the Santa Fe, the Traverse, and I've owned a Saab 9.3 and a Mazda Miata. So I've driven a number of cars, and I've really liked the sports cars the best, the way they drive, but with road trips and off-roading, you can't use a sports car. But this Jeep Wrangler was the best of any of them I've driven, as far as, you know, the off-roading is comfort for a road trip is not as good as the CRV that we have. But it has really good pickup, really good torque. I mean, I drove it in a desert area with sand dunes, drove it over a sand dune, very good. But there are some things I didn't like about it. It's a little bit cramped inside. The headlights are not too good. What else? This was in the fall, and the bugs on the windshield were awful. I had to clean the windshield, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a day. I had to keep a can of glass cleaner with me. So I didn't like it all. But other than that, I love the way it drove, and I wanted to see how, once I got back in town, when I got into my CRV and it drove, how it compared. And the CRV felt really sloppy, too cushy, suspension not strong. It just didn't feel right compared to the Wrangler, but I'm used to it now. So anyway, our trip, we went to Salt Lake City. We took a loop called the Alpine Scenic Loop east of Salt Lake City, and the leaves were changing. It was really beautiful, very comparable to the leaves in Pennsylvania, Northeast. Probably the best I've been to is the Cacamagus Highway in New Hampshire is just outstanding. But this alpine loop rope is quite good. We took the Tioga Road, or the Tioga Pass Road, we stayed in Mammoth Lakes, and that was north of there. We drove that goes up to Yosemite National Park, and there's a number of lakes and other overlooks like Olmsted Point, where you can see Half Dome in Yosemite from a distance. Very, very nice, scenic area, very beautiful, good hiking. In fact, at one point when we stopped in an isolated area and Sveta was out taking pictures at a lake, a fox walked right by the car and just slowly walked by, and it was really beautiful. I didn't get a picture. I was too, I guess, involved in watching this beautiful creature. So the Tioga Road was nice. The Tenaya Lake is very beautiful, one of the most beautiful that we saw there. We went to, what else in that area? We went to the Bodie Ghost Town. It's an old gold mining town. Gold was found there in 1870, maybe 69. And it reached its peak in 1881 when it had 65 saloons at one point. It had Chinatown, opium dens, brothels, had a baseball field, and a horse track. Of course, none of those are there now. Mostly just wooden buildings that are left. Maybe, I don't know, 24 that you can see. There's the part of the mining town where they process the ore that you can't access. There's maybe a dozen buildings there at most. But it was very beautiful, very interesting. Definitely worth a trip. You have to drive like 12 miles on this terrible, terrible dirt road that takes a long time. Other than that, it was really worthwhile. And we were there around sunset, and it was absolutely beautiful with the sun. We did miss the museum hours, unfortunately, but it was definitely worthwhile. In that area, we also went to the ancient bristlecone pine forest, which these bristlecone pines are currently 4,000 years old, maybe even 5,000 years old. And we walked a trail that was about 1.5 miles. I think it took us 3 hours because we stopped a lot, and it got up to over 10,000 feet. But it was a very beautiful day. Weather was nice. The temperature was not hot, but it was nice. What else did we do in that area? There's a Mona Lake, which is like the Dead Sea. It's high salt concentration, so nothing lives in it except for brine shrimp and some kind of fly larva, black fly, maybe, I forget. But they, because of the minerals, these springs that come up from the bottom bubble up, and it creates what's called these tufas, which are like rock structures that can stand as much as 30-40 feet tall. These were all underwater years ago, but now they're exposed because the water level has decreased. But it was also around sunset, and it was quite beautiful. Unfortunately, I didn't have my GoPro with me at the time, and I didn't get any good videos. I have some pictures, and I'll post those on Flickr or Facebook. But it was just like the sunset was pinkish and quite magical, quite nice. definitely worth a trip. But this was the south part of Mono Lake, I think near what's called Navy Beach. Definitely worthwhile. Then we went to, there's a number of lakes around Mammoth Lake, and Gull Lake was the prettiest. It's not a big lake, just a small lake, but there were a lot of ducks, and you could see I think it was trout, pretty sure it was trout that were there. You could see them in the shallow water. Okay, then we went to Tonopah in Nevada, just a small mining town, and that was quite interesting. I didn't realize Nevada has such, I think it's the #1 gold producer in America, and I think the 4th largest in the world, maybe, but a lot of silver as well. And we went to a mining museum. They had tours of the actual mine outdoors, but we didn't book a tour. They were not available when we were there. But it's worthwhile, quite interesting. They also have a Central Nevada Museum, which was good. In Ely, Nevada, was that where there's a site called Crescent Dune Solar Energy Field, I believe, where they have a large group of mirrors that shine onto a central post, which absorbs the heat and transfers that heat to a generator to create electricity. And that was actually pretty cool to see that and read about it. It was a nice stop. In Ely, they have these Ward charcoal ovens where they used to make charcoal to process the mining ore, and they had to create the charcoal to use it to burn the fires to process the ore, and that was an amazing. I mean, they just used tons and tons of cords. Like, I don't remember now how many cords, like 30 cords of wood to burn to create this charcoal in these ovens. They had a good railway museum there in Ely, and a White Pine Public Museum, and a village is called Renaissance Village, but it's not the Middle Ages Renaissance. It's they were small buildings that were built by the railroad to for the people that worked for the railroad or for the mines, and they just transferred them to this site, and they put in different artifacts that they would have, like an Italian house, an English house, an Irish house, to show how these people lived in 1920s or so. In around Salt Lake City, we went to the Bonneville Salt Flats, and that's worth a trip. That was quite interesting. It's quite vast, just a lot of salt. flat open land with salt and a little bit of water covering some of it. What else did we do? We went to the Great Basin National Park. That was okay, some good hiking. We went to Antelope Island near Salt Lake City. That was worth a visit, pretty cool. And the causeway crossing to that island it's very beautiful. We went to Craters of the Moon in Idaho, and that was interesting. Basically a ocean of lava flows. There was an eruption there. It was either 600 or 6,000 years ago. No, maybe it was 2,000 years ago. Anyway, it looks like it did right after the eruption. It's just miles of lava. And Mammoth Lakes, we stayed at an Airbnb that had a pellet stove heater, and I never used one of those before, and it's really cool. It was very simple. It was all automated, and so you just turn it on, and you see the fire shooting up from a cone, and it heats it up. I mean, I use a regular wood stove to heat on occasion, and I like the ambiance that provides. It's beautiful. I love it in the wintertime. And but it's, you know, a lot more work, and it's you have a lot of ash you have to empty, and but the pellet stove was easy, but it's not as good as a wood stove as far as ambiance. So now I am going to put together the videos that I took in October for this trip for your viewing pleasure. Oh, also, I didn't get to this video because I was working around the house. I had put in hardwood floors earlier, but I had to build this closet here. The doors had to be replaced. They were floor to ceiling, and I had to build that wall up top and then install the doors. It's actually a pretty cheap project. Doesn't cost that much at all, maybe $200. But the effort and time is quite time consuming to build the wall and so forth. So let's get on with the actual travel videos. Today is October the 12th, Thursday, 2023. I am near Salt Lake City. I'm at the Pine Hollow Trailhead. There's a Mount Timpanangus ahead of me, right up there where the snow is. And I'm renting this Jeep Wrangler from Enterprise. Brand new car. I'm the first driver on it. It's a nice car, I like it. Gotta get used to it. I hear some birds over there. I need to get the Merlin app and identify what they are. I'm still at Pine Hollow Trailhead, and the bird is the Townsend Solitaire that I heard earlier. I don't know if you could pick that up on the video. In the Jeep, the windows are controlled in the center here. There's not a whole lot of storage space. This is on the Alpine Loop 92. I'm on Cascade Scenic Drive, Utah. Cascade Scenic Drive, Utah. October the 12th, I'm at Cascade Springs Trail, Utah. Okay, we had to turn around. We were on Cummings Parkway 220, which this is supposed to be, but it's pretty rough road for a parkway. Good thing we have a Jeep. We're back on Cascade Scenic Drive, and that mountain there is, I already forgot the name of it, where the cave is, but we're having a little bit of frozen rain or snow, pellets falling. Timpanogos Mountain. I'm on Alpine Loop Trail toward Provo Canyon. Today is October the 14th, Saturday, 2023. I'm at Goodale's Cutoff in Idaho. It's a lake near or in Craters of the Moon Monument. Lots of lava rock. everywhere. October 14th, Saturday, 2023. I'm at Craters of the Moon National Monument in Idaho on a trail marked number 2, I believe. I forget the name of the trail. This lava is from an eruption 2,000 years ago. I believe the oldest eruption in this area was around 15,000, and then there was some 6,500, but I believe this site was dated to 2,000 years ago. And I'm out of breath. It's cinders that built up a hill from a volcanic eruption. I'm at one of the splatter cones in Craters of the Moon National Monument. This vent is where lava came up. This is one of the splatter cones. That is straight ahead is a spatter cone where lava came out from the ground and spewed out from there. Here is another one as well. Snake River Canyon, I believe this is, in Twin Falls, Idaho. I believe this is where... It's Sunday, October the 15th, 2023. I'm in Nevada, the Lemoyne Canyon. We drove to the end of the road, and there's a trail up to Dollar Lakes and Lemoyne Lake, but it'll take us too long to get there, and it's icy and snowy and muddy, so we're turning back. But this is the valley. It's October 16, 2023. I'm in Bodie, Ghost Town, California. This was a gold mining town that was built in the 1800s and then abandoned late 1800s. I'll show you the inside of some buildings and a museum. The museum is closed. I missed it by 2 minutes. This is the morgue. Pool table. Must have been a bar or restaurant. Saloon. Bodie Hotel. Meals at all hours. Outhouses. This is the old schoolhouse, building 20. So this area there is closed to the public, but that's the stamp mill, the assay office, the charcoal house, the Hoover house, blacksmith tailings plant. They must have done some of their mining processing there. This is the church. Tuesday, October 17, 2023, off the road, Tioga Pass Road in Yosemite National Park. This is Tanya Lake.
Or if it's just too
it,
crowded.
I mean, again, there's a decent amount of people there, but it's not.
So it's not like bumper to bumper. Okay, thank you.
Have fun.
Yeah, we will.
This is Olmsted Point. That's we're doing a controlled burn down in the valley. That's what that smoke is. And that's Half Dome straight ahead there. Today is October 18th, Wednesday, 2023. I'm in the Inyo National Forest, the Sierra View viewpoint on the road to the ancient bristlecone pine forest. It's at 9,300 feet, 9,320 I believe exactly. We're heading up to the pine forest, which is 10,000 feet. This is the Discovery Trail. I believe it's 1.5 miles long. The other Methuselah Walk takes 2.5 hours, 4 miles. That's where there's one there that's 4,000 years old. That's the trail, the Discovery Trail. A Great Basin bristlecone pine. A large one. Good to meet you, Mr. Pine. Mr. Ancient Pine. What would you say to us at this time as the wind winds through your limbs and boughs? What have you to tell us about our time? It's October 19th, 2023. I'm at Gull Lake near Mammoth Lakes, California.
Try not to give it to the ducks, but they just keep after it.
Yep, cool.
It's a big trout. Holy
I know.
smokes.
Isn't it beautiful? That's a slate-colored coot, according to the Seek app. Today is Friday, October the 20th, 2023. I'm in Nevada at the Crescent Dunes solar power station. So these mirrors down here reflect onto this number 3 receiver, and molten salt flows through that from the cold salt to the hot salt tank, which is down here, and then it is used to create steam for the turbine power generator. That's what it looks like from above. Mirrors focusing the sun on the center. $500,000 megawatts per year. That's pretty good. Wow. And let's see what it looks like over here. Alrighty, and then here's the unit. We're in Nevada near the town of Tonopah. I guess I don't know how it's pronounced, but Tonopah. Looks like it's pronounced that way. Friday, October the 20th, 2023, in Nevada. A space called the Lunar Crater. I read something about it was created when magma hit water and caused an explosion. I don't know how many years ago that was. I have to read up more about it. This is on the way from Tonopah to Ely, Nevada. Tonopah was the gold and silver mining area. Nevada is the fourth largest producer of gold in the world, the first in America. I'm in Ely, Nevada, at a museum for railroads. It's called the Nevada Northern Railway East Ely Yard National Historic Landmark, and I'm standing at the machine shop and engine house buildings. Machine shop here. Machine shop, built originally in 1907. And this is the engine house here. Better watch my step. Saturday, October 21, 2023, near Ely, Nevada. I'm at the Ward charcoal ovens, which you can see under the sun over there, maybe not. It says they were constructed during the mid-1870s, larger and a finer construction than most other found in Nevada. They hold 35 cords of wood, which was burned for 12 days to produce 50 bushels of good solid charcoal per cord. It was used in the smelters at nearby Ward, about 30 to 50 bushels being required to reduce 1 ton of ore. Each filling of one of these ovens required the total tree crop from 5 or 6 acres of land. During the late 1870s, most of these hills were stripped of timber for a radius of up to 35 miles. As railroads penetrated the West, charcoal was replaced by coke, made from coal, and the charcoal industry faded. The real worth of the old charcoal ovens is their historical function in reminding present-day Americans of a now vanished industry without which the great silver and lead bonanzas of the early West could not have been harvested, according to Nell Merbarger. And these are the coke ovens, or charcoal ovens rather. In Pittsburgh we have coke ovens used by the steel industry. So they used to pile wood in an open pit. The ovens allow control over how hot and long it burns. Important when producing quality charcoal.
Did y'all clap your hands in here?
Yeah.
Okay, the interior of the charcoal oven. Inside another charcoal oven. Ho, ho, ho. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Hee, hee, hee. Ha, 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 ha. Today is October 23rd, 2023, Monday. I'm in Utah at the Bonneville Salt Flats, and the water is approaching. It's, I guess, going with the wind. I'm standing on salt, but there is water encroaching where I am standing. That seems to be the direction of the wind as well. I don't know too much about these salt flats. I'll have to read about it. But it's large expanse of land. I'm at Stansbury Island at the Great Salt Lake, Utah, where the sand or the salt is pink. Here's a interior of a old caravan horse-driven trailer house.